Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good day everyone. I am Raisani Kusain and today we will be going to tackle the lesson 15, the issue of Sabah or the North Borneo.
For its overview, the Philippine Constitution provides that in whatever conflict the country may have with another country, it shall shun the use of force in the medium. The Philippines always enjoins opens through dialogue, consultation, and recognition. A cornerstone of its foreign relations is to abide by the rule of law and its Sabah claims, just like its other territorial claims, must go through peaceful diplomatic procedures. It would submit the Sabah claim to International Arbitrary Court for resolution. For the learning outcomes, at the end of the lesson, the students can locate the Sabah, formerly North Borneo, and discuss the historical and legal basis of the Philippines' claims to Sabah.
So, where is Sabah? Sabah is one of the 13 states of Malaysia. It is located on the northern part of the Sun of Borneo and is bordered by Sarawak southwest and Kalimantan or Indonesian Borneo in south. Sabah has an 800 to 90 mile or 1,290 to 1,450 kilometer long, with limited coastline along South China, Sulu, and Celebes Sea. The capital of Sabah is Kota and it was known as North Borneo during the British colonial period in 1963. It has 33 square mile land area is dominated by Mount Kinabalu. Sabah is a region abundant in oil. In fact, its capacity is equivalent to about 40% of Malaysia's oil production. The land of Sabah is rich in terms of its natural resources like oil, gas, timber, palm oil, and etc. Sabah is often referred as the land below the wind. So, bakit nga ba madalas na ang tawag sa Sabah ay the land below the wind? The reason is because of its location in south, na kung saan madaling kapitan or madalas na binabagyo. The term is originated from maritime history, na kung saan ginamit ito ng mga mandaragat to identify or determine or describe the region. The Malay, Kadazan, Chinese, Bahau, and Murut are the main ethnic groups in Sabah. According to historical accounts, the royal families of Sulu and Brunei is a close relatives. And nung nagkaroon ng intermarriage sa kanilang family is mas makapag-build sila ng close diplomatic relationship between the two nations. This movement, launched by the Moro National Liberation Front in the early 70s, brought an influx into Sabah of migrants who fear being caught in the crossfire. Sabah is now the home of nearly 500,000 Filipinos, mostly Muslims from Mindanao, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. The Filipino workforce in Sabah has contributed tremendously to the development of Sabah. So, dahil sa secessionist movement na inilunsad ng Moro National Liberation Front or MNLF is naging dahilan ito ng pagdagsa o pagdami ng mga dayuhan sa Sabah dahil natatakot sila na turuan sila ng paggamit ng mga baril. Kaya ang Sabah ay naging tahanan na ngayon ng maraming Pilipino at karamihan sa kanila ay mga Muslim na nagmula sa Mindanao, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi.
What are the historical and legal basis of the Philippine Sabah claim? In the early part of the 17th century, ang Sabah ay pagmamay-ari ng Sultan of Brunei na si Muhammad Ali. Nung nagkaroon ng war between the alleged perpetrator na sina Bendera Abdul Mubin at Pongeran Bungso, a nephew of the slain Sultan, ang leader nila ay pumunta sa Sultan of Sulu para humingi ng tulong or assistance. Ang Sabah ay pagmamay-ari ng Brunei na nakuha ni Sulu dahil gift ito sa kanya sa pagtulong sa kanila sa rebellion. In the previous lesson, we already know na ang Saba ay rinentahan sa isang businessman na si Alfred Den sa halagang 5,000 ringgit na equivalent to around 59,000 plus. At iniutos niya ito kay Dutch Baron von. At nung umalis ang British Company ay binalik nila ang Saba sa Federation of Malaya instead of Sulu. In 1658, ang Saba ay niregalo ng Sultanate of Brunei sa Sultanate of Sulu bilang gantimpala o pasasalamat sa kanilang pagsugpo ng rebelyon.
In January 18, Baron Gustavus von Overbeek, the Austrian consul general in Hong Kong, he traveled to negotiate with the Sultan the lease of Sabah on behalf of Alfred Den, an English merchant who advanced 10,000 English pounds for ventures. So meaning, si Baron Gustavus ay isang Austrian consul general ng Hong Kong. Naglakbay siya upang makipag-ayo sa Sultan sa pagpapaupa ng Sabah sa ngalan ni Alfred Den. So, si Alfred Den ay isang mangangalakal lamang na ng English na siyang nag-advance ng 10,000 English pounds para makipagsapalaran. So, sinabi ni Alfred sa panahon ng negosasyon, isang pwersang ekspedisyong Espanyol sa ilalim ng Kapitang General Malcarofio ang ipinadala laban kay Jamalul Ahlam. So sa Jamalul Ahlam ay siya ang sultan ng Sulu. So sinamantala ang sitwasyon na pinilit ni Overbeek ang sultan ng Sulu na paupahan ang Sabah. On January 22, 1878, His Majesty Sultan Jamalul Ahlam Kiram entered into the deed of Fajr with North Borneo chartered a company represented by Gustavus von Overbeek and Alfred Den. The deed was written in Malayan and in Arabic character. It used the Tausug word Faay to describe the nature of the contract. The British and the Malaysian claimed that this word meant sale or cession. And not least, but Dutch, American, and Spanish scholars translate the word Fajar to mean lease or the Spanish word arrendamiento. So, ibig sabihin, si Sultan Jamalul Ahlam Kiram ay pumasok sa Dean of Fajr kasama ang North Borneo Chartered Company na pagmamay-ari ni Gustavus von Overbeek at Alfred Den. Ang sabi doon, ang kasulatan ay nakasulat sa Malayan at sa Arabic na mga letra. Ginamit din nila ang tausug na salita ay paay upang ilarawan ang katangian ng kontrata. Sinabi ng mga British at mga Malaysian na ang salitang ito ay nangangahulugang pagbibenta o session at hindi pag-upa. Ngunit isinindiin ng mga Dutch, American at Spanish na scholar ang salitang Fajar na nangangahulugang lease o ang salitang Espanyol di arrendamiento. The contract stipulated that the lease prohibits the transfers of Sabah to any nation or entity, the company or individual without the approval of Her Majesty Governor. So, itinakda sa kontrata na yon na ang pag-upa ay pinagbabawal na paglipat ng Sabah sa anumang bansa. Kahit entity pa or kumpanya o individual nang walang pag-aproba ng Her Majesty Governor. The 1878 deed of lease had been translated by Harold Conklin, an American anthropologist, based on a copy in the original Arabic found by Mr. Quintero in Washington, D.C. Bureau of Insular Affairs Archives. So, ang ibig sabihin, ang Days of Bliss ay sinalin ni Harold Conklin. Si Harold Conklin ay isang Amerikanong antropologo batay sa isang kumpanya ng original na Arabic na natagpuan ni Mr. Quintero sa Washington, D.C. Bureau of Insular Affairs Archives.
In 1903, the company asked Sultan Jamalul Kiram to execute a confirmatory deed on the contract of 1878. It expressed recognized that the Sulu Sultanate was sovereign in Sabah. In 1878, a lease agreement was made for North Borneo between the Sultanate of the Sulu and the British North Borneo Company. In 1903, the company asked Sultan Jamalul Kiram to confirm the agreement through deed, acknowledging the sovereignty of the Sulu Sultanate over Sabah. From 1978 to 1946, the North Borneo Chartered Company administered the disputed territory. During this period, it paid the Sultan of Sulu an annual rental, 5,000 Malayan dollars, which was increased to $5,300. The North Borneo Chartered Company administered the disputed territory of Sabah from late 19th century until the Japanese occupation during World War II. The payment of the Sultan of the Sulu was part of the lease agreement between the company and the Sultanate. 6 days after the granting of independence of the Philippines by the United States in 1946, British Crown entered into a contract with the NBCC. Thereby, the company transferred to the British Crown all its right to the state of the North Borneo. After the Philippines gained independence, the British North Borneo became a British Crown colony, and the administration transitioned from the NBCC to direct British rule. And on June 22, 1962, the Philippines formally filed a claim over Sabah with the United Kingdom. It claimed sovereignty, jurisdiction, and proprietary ownership over Sabah, a successor in interest to the Sultan of the Sulu. Based on the assertion of sovereignty, jurisdiction, and property ownership as the successor in interest to the Sultan of Sulu, the matter has been source of diplomatic discussions and complexities between the Philippines and Malaysia. Philippines legal lumarists, such as former Senator Jovito Salonga, argue that sovereignty over Sabah cannot be exercised or transferred by a non-sovereign to a sovereign country, as what happened when Great Britain assumed control over the territory from NBBC. Furthermore, the Sulu Sultanate has priority rights but has lost its sovereignty over Sabah when it was absorbed by the Philippines. Former Senator Salonga and other Philippine legal lumarists argue that sovereignty over Sabah cannot transfer from non-sovereignty entity to a sovereign country, citing the transition of control from the North Borneo Chartered Company NBBC to Great Britain. Additionally, they contend that while Sultanate of Sulu has historical rights, it lost sovereignty over Sabah upon being absorbed by the Philippines.